Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today I have 4 great stories for you. 3 petty revenges and 1 pro revenge. So sit back with your favorite cup of coffee and enjoy the stories. Our first story here is called Got an Anti-Masker Karen Kicked Off the Bus for a Lifetime. To set the scene, I was on my bus and I was going to my retrain sessions as I'm reorienting myself profession-wise. Usually I'm pretty silent and tend to minding my own business. Under our current situation, there's an order to wear masks on public transport, unless you have a doctor's note saying that you shouldn't. Entered the entitled Karen, EK. First of all, on the buses there are usually 4-seaters and 2-seaters. I was on 2-seater, minding my own business. Here comes EK, grabbing my backpack and throwing it at me to place herself without even asking if I'd let her, which was not at all nice, but okay. I just glanced at her and saw that she had no mask on. As I have several health conditions that make me a risk patient and endangered towards corona, that was a big no for me. I did what every reasonable person would, and told her politely that no one likes to wear those masks, but it is necessary, and if she were to please put on a mask or sit somewhere else, as I don't want to get infected. I don't know what exactly made her snap, but her face went beet red, and EK went on a rant, lecturing me about how masks are bad for your health, being controlled by the government, etc. I told her that she does not have to lecture me, that I respect her opinions, but it is required to wear one, and I feel uncomfortable with her so close to me without one. Since then, she went even redder and started fake coughing at my face to provoke me like a little child. I really wanted to slap her at that point, but I decided just to stand up and tell the bus driver, who then asked for her ID and kicked her off the bus and told her she is now banned from public transport. He asked me if he should call the police so I could press charges for assault and harassment against her, but I declined as I was already being late. Next time something like this happens, I will definitely do that. I'm sick and tired of those idiots. This second story is a lot lighter than the first one. The revenge that got sweeter the longer she didn't notice. Okay, so I am one of 4 girls. Yes, this leads to many fights. When I was in high school, my older sister had just come home from college for the summer. She was examining every inch of her room to make sure everything was in its place. She also went to my room to make sure I didn't steal anything. Now, I did not touch anything of hers because I knew better, but she came up with something I stole anyway. She screams down the stairs that I stole her mattress of all things. She starts ripping my blankets and sheets off the bed and begins hauling it out of my room. I come up the stairs and I'm yelling at her to stop because no, I did not. She couldn't even offer me any proof, other than it felt like her mattress. So, as sisters sometimes do, we got into a fight over it. Like an actual fight with hair pulling and whatnot, until my parents came to break it up. They let my older sister take the mattress. Now I spent the afternoon in my room fuming because I did nothing wrong. That's when my sister left to go hang out with her friends for the afternoon. That was my chance. I went back into her room and as gently as I could, moved her blankets so not a ruffle was out of place. Then I switched the mattresses back. Later that day and the next morning I was so anxious that she could actually feel a difference. She didn't. And I kept my mouth shut. She didn't even find out about it until several years later after she moved out with her boyfriend and I told her. She couldn't even remember the fight, but as a younger sister, nothing could replace the feeling of getting revenge on your older sibling. Was it petty? Yep, but it's still a favorite memory. My question is, how can you even tell the difference between your mattress and someone else's, especially after you've been gone from yours for so long? What a silly story. I ruined my bully's one chance at making friends and being accepted. All through middle school, there was one girl who was several years older than me, M, who rode my school bus, who really had it out for my Japanese-American family. Every morning when my 5 siblings and I would get on the bus, she would start yelling at us from the back of the bus. Hey, it's the Asians! Another random, meaningless crap, taunting, goading, and making fun of us for literally no reason. The same thing would happen in the hallways if we ever had the misfortune of running into her. Once we talked to our mom about it and she was like, "Oh, you mean Pig Girl? The one who makes really ugly faces at me every time the bus pulls up?" So we had a good laugh that my 5-foot-flat angel mother had been calling our bully Pig Girl all this time. But the situation never improved, even after Pig Girl left middle school, since our school's bus routes were shared by the high school. So years went on, and I finally started high school, and somehow ended up hanging out with a bunch of senior girls all the time. Not because of any merit, but because I was small and lonely, and they took me under their wing. It wasn't a bad time thanks to these kind girls, and I had all but forgotten about Pig Girl. One day, one of the nice girls who sit with us at lunch brings someone new with her, saying this senior girl had no place to sit and wanted to be friends. And well, what do you know, it's good old Pig Girl. Looking back, I wish I'd have been nice and understanding. She was probably just taking out pent-up emotions from being lonely and having family problems on easy targets like my family of small people. But alas, I didn't. When Pig Girl was introduced to us, I put on a really nice and welcoming act, knowing I had her in the palm of my hand. I immediately said something along the lines of, "Hi, do you remember me from the bus?" And she responded uncomfortably, in the positive. I had her sit next to me. I then struck up a jovial conversation with the entire table about how much Pig Girl had bullied my family and I, laughing about it as if it was just some funny story from the past. All of the nice girls were trying to smile and go along with the joke, but were obviously uncomfortable, shooting odd looks at this newcomer, Pig Girl, on the other hand, looking like she was sitting on hot coals. After telling my funny story and expressing how much of a living hell Pig Girl had made my middle school for me, I finally hit her with the, "Lol, but anyway, why would you do that to my family and I? What did we ever do to you?" with the biggest, nicest smile I could muster. Pig Girl sputtered like a squashed frog. I heard her try to squeal something about, "Well, there were just so many of you," and other BS. But I just said, "Oh, I gotta get to my next class a bit early," and took off, leaving the most uncomfortable silence I've ever seen. Pig Girl didn't join our lunch table after that. And here's our last story. Don't want to return my tools or pay me? Enjoy losing your business. I'm a trade painter that worked for around 5 years, essentially running a company for an owner who took a very hands-off approach. He was essentially a name and a working capital, and not much else. After getting an offer to work for a bigger commercial company, and my old boss's realization he would have to run his own company, as there really wasn't anyone else in-house that was qualified, he resorted to acting like a child to try and make me stay. Made me run around the world to receive my final pay, which I never even got, and refused to return my tools spread throughout various jobs. Revenge time. As luck would have it, another even better offer from an even bigger company ended up in my lap that wanted to subcontract me. A very substantial amount of their work, but I'm going to need more employees for that. So I go through and call each and every member of the original company and offer them a $3 an hour raise to work for me, which all of them accepted. After they all know me, and they worked with me for years, and it's more money, no brainer. They barely knew the owner and what they do know, they don't like. I then asked them to grab only my tools, which was the vast majority of tools around the jobs, from their respective jobs, when they leave for the weekend on Friday. Monday rolls around, and my old boss is getting calls left and right from supervisors asking why nobody's at work and what's going on. He was so hands-off he didn't even have employee phone numbers to call and ask them. He's essentially without employees and little to no tools to complete any jobs at this point. Fast forward 6 months and his company is now closed. He's lost all his work. His new addition to his house has come to a grinding halt halfway through construction. He's hurting big time. I never even got my last check, but I did get a great group of workers and a company of my own, so I guess I'll just call it even. Thank you guys for watching these 4 stories I had today. If you liked, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe for future videos. And I'll see you next time.